Well, we wanted to talk about football events and stuff.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Because you've played in 3 SIDEMEN ones.
I was on a shoot with a football manager the other day. I can't say who it is at this point, unfortunately. But and when you're going through the stadiums that you've played in, and you're like,
oh, it's mad.
The new camp, like me and you played there. I never made a video from that, which was a nightmare because I think we only had 20 minutes on the pitch, didn't we?
Yeah.
That's a shame.
You know what is real, like a big regret as well? Not a regret because I didn't do anything wrong, but going to these stadiums and not getting a goal. It's a real
What, is it actually scoring?
Yeah.
But you can't really do anything about that.
No, that's why it's not like a regret, but it's a real annoyance, the fact that I've played at like the new camp. I didn't score. Like that's
Yeah, but we only had 20 minutes.
I know, but other people scored.
Yeah, but there's a thing that you get in every single YouTube match, which like, you know how in football, like growing up, if you're a bad player, like you have to put yourself at the back. Like in every YouTube, like in our situation, like everyone puts themselves up front because they just want to score.
Yeah.
And so you need to have some sort of like system.
You need some carriers around, don't you? Yeah. You need some Gary Nevilles.
Well, you've played in what? You've played in the new camp, Wembley.
4 times.
Damn.
Flex. You play every Wembley Cup?
Yeah.
Mad.
Yeah.
That's a
being
Which one's
pretending to be Spencer's best mate. It really works nicely.
What's your opinion on the F2?
Nice. That's one of our most
Station
viewed
in the
videos.
back.
Wait, have you talked about it before on this?
Yeah.
It's one of our most viewed videos.
Was it?
Yeah.
The first one, right, is when it was back at the old Simon house. I didn't really know what had happened, and we spoke about it on the podcast, and I have no idea what he's talking about. So I'm just there like, yeah, cool. Interesting. Wow. It's like the most viewed one. Most viewed video.
This is when it just kicked off, wasn't it?
Yeah. Now I've gone back and looked at it all.
So I'd seen, before the video came out with Stephen, obviously like 2 years after, I'd actually seen it. Someone showed it to me, and I was like, obviously I'm not going to leak this because it'd like be bad for the F2, but I really hope it comes out because this shows like how bad their team are and like how awful they were in victory and stuff. And so when it came out, I was so happy.
Nice.
So I was like,
Finally.
and at the time as well, I can't remember. No. So even the video that came out, it wasn't the whole thing. So just watching Stephen, like Man Like Hacks obviously coming up being like so homophobic to Stephen.
Yeah.
And Stephen, like in the full video, Stephen, like literally, it's just not fair. Like he's like, Man Like Hacks being like, oh, you know, like everyone out here supporting us. Stephen's like, yeah, so loads of Man Like Hack signs out there. Like, it's just like these quick remarks.
He's so
like
good
that.
at it. He's so good.
And like obviously,
You don't do it to Stephen.
to Stephen, like he's so quick. Yeah. You just can't. And so I loved it when it came out.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah. I mean, I've never had any interaction with Man Like Hacks, but he did not conduct himself.
It's one of those things where like you don't want to get involved in any drama.
No,
but it's like like it should be out there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
it
I was very happy that it
times.
came out, and like I heard from a lot of people that Jeremy acted very badly on that day as well. Like he walked past my family as we were leaving, and it was like I'd had like my close family and then like a few friends as well. The entourage, and
the MDs.
Yeah, and he came past and he was like, "Oh, the hashtag boy's over there." And I was like, "Yeah, I think so." Like, oh, what you can do, go rub it in, and then he went.
He did.
It in.
Like, yeah, mate. Actually,
and it's like, oh, like shouldn't you just be having a drink?
Yeah,
it's shooty, isn't it? Like end of the day, like
It's
it's competitiveness, but everyone's friends, right?
You do it to like your mate Max. That's it.
Yeah,
and even then, you probably wouldn't do it then. You'd bring it up in like 2 weeks, just as a joke, like a little.
Not to the creator of the tournament, who's
and you also they definitely weren't mates at that point.
No.
So
it
is weird, but
I don't know. I always feel like there was a lot of around that it was sort of just bringing up old Wembley Cup beef, but like there was so much stuff about Spencer, and it's just like he's genuinely just a nice guy trying to do a good job. And it's like I know there were like obviously a few things, like in the first Wembley Cup, how like unfair the teams were and stuff, but. I think it's so difficult planning something like that.
Oh,
it's
no,
so
100%.
difficult, like working out what teams. Like in the 7-1, like that was the last time. Like we thought that would be fairly fair, and then we went out and it was like, oh.
Well, so this is the weird thing, right? So the SIDEMEN matches, the first one, I can't even remember the score now. The first one we won
7-2.
Might have been,
I think it was.
Then the second one, you guys won 2-0.
Yep.
But the second one, before the match, I remember sitting down in the hotel. And the majority of your team came over to us and said, "You've stitched us up here."
Wow!
They all they all came over
did.
and they went, "You guys have stitched us up." Like it's so obvious that you guys have given yourself the better team.
Yeah,
and it's like so like it's actually ridiculous.
I think,
and then we lost.
Mind games. You let that get to you.
No, we just massively undervalued having like 3
Deji.
6-foot no, it was like
That was the third one. That was the third.
like having like Josh Peters, Reeve, and JMX.
Those three.
Oh,
in our
just the
midfield.
size of them,
as
unreal,
CDM.
man.
They ruined the whole game for me.
For everyone, the whole experience, they made it unentertaining.
And that goes back to the whole thing you're talking about, like younger games at football, school games. Like you don't have to be good; you should have to be big. In a game where it's not professional, like just stick like a massive
But I
person
think
there.
in that, it made such a difference having people who were committed defensively,
Yeah.
like instead of like in the last game where we were playing like 10 attackers.
Yeah.
But I feel like the last one as well, even though we scoreline destroyed you, you could have scored at least 5
I would
goals.
love to. We should pay someone to do the expected goals from the last one because, like, I swear it would be like 5.
It'd be
goals or
even,
something.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Like,
but that's
'cause-
because you were like playing one defender at the end. We just kept
I mean,
hammering
it's
at
true.
your keeper.
It's true. But like my third goal, Hugh Izzy's on the halfway line.
Oh yeah.
Like it's I think everyone had given up by that point, not just our
It's
defense.
like just still in the first half, like you. What are you doing? You know, like we still got a chance if you don't just sprint out into midfield.
But yeah, those days, like, which I'm going to put you on the spot here. Sidemen charity matches. Wembley Cups.
Wembley Cup.
Oh.
I much prefer playing in the Sidemen ones because the quality
Yes.
is lower.
As a member, of, oh, okay.
As a member of the
As a member of the
Sidemen.
Simon, I approve that message.
Yeah, but like in the Sidemen matches, obviously you guys just kind of invite. It's like a mix of ability, and I'm much higher up in the pecking order. Like obviously the last Wembley Cup, I was probably the worst player on the pitch. Like literally game on, and their manager took me off 5 minutes later.
Oh, no.
It's like, I'll take my 100 grand and get. No, I didn't.
There you go, exclusive. Chris got 100 grand.
No, it's a bit more. No, but like obviously in the Wembley Cup matches, you've got professionals. You've got like it's way more like an actual football match. You got Sunday League. That's kind of what I obviously like. Spencer can do what he wants for the tournament. It's his tournament.
Sure.
But like in the last one, there was way more Sunday League people there, so it was way more serious, and it wasn't as fun.
Which Wembley Cup did you enjoy the most out of the 4?
I'd say the 2016 one, which was the one where we
Was the
played.
second?
Yeah, the second one. That was the one where I flicked it over Perez and Carragher, and we had like that was like the first time I think playing against professionals.
Yeah. The first one was no crowd, no.
Yeah, that was
professionals.
it. Yeah, except for the F2, of course.
course.
And
Well,
yeah,
you were on the other team. You were on Spencer's
yeah,
team.
I scored. Yeah, I scored in the first one.
I'm not gonna lie, Joe. I've blocked it.
No,
I've blocked out my memory.
Yeah.
That day, honestly, was. I respect the whole thing, but that day was so unenjoyable for us.
Yeah.
Not because of the game. Like the game wasn't that fun because it was just us v the F2.
Yeah.
And it was just them running around us.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
it. But we also had to do filming around it, and like
Yeah,
I injured my neck, and they were literally like,
Oh.
they're like contractually you have to film, and I was like, I can't move, and they were like,
Yeah.
you have to film a scene for pre-match. But this is after the match when I'm sweaty, wet, and I
Oh
have a
my
hurt
God.
neck. So I literally have to answer an iPad, and I go, "Hello, you all right?"
Answer an iPad.
Yeah, it was a phone call and an iPad, like a FaceTime.
Can you put that in the what's good next time, please?
What FaceTime's an
Yeah,
iPad?
so I can turn my light off.
Okay.
Yeah, you're constant. Someone's got like a massive like iPad there. I'm like, bro, stop.
Wait, so then you were like answering a FaceTime thing?
Yeah, because it was meant to be like,
Put up to your ear.
it was like,
Hello.
That'd be really difficult.
Yeah, nobody next.
It's really pressing on my neck.
Yeah.
Well, it was meant to be like, oh, this person's going to be your manager and stuff like that kind of like news.
yeah.
And
Which is not fun to record at the best of times.
no,
Acting.
and then we already know we've lost.
Mm.
I'm hurt. We're all like tired. We just want to go eat and
Yeah.
like chill. And we get dragged into this room while everyone else is allowed to go home. It felt like an after school.
Yeah,
like-
that's poor planning, really.
yeah. So,
Shame.
but the actual like day and everything was good. Like,
it,
and I do understand the event is really really like impressive and good.
Yeah, I think the second Wembley Cup was my favourite because there was the crowd. Obviously, we had professionals, but we also had people like I don't know, Tusink and Casper Lee and people
They
who
got
like,
game time.
yeah,
like,
and like you weren't basing it on how good people were. It was like Soccer Aid, and like you bring people on because they've got like this viewership. And
Yeah.
it's like it's
funny.
way more entertaining
Yeah.
to see like someone who isn't very good at football
Yeah.
play, and just
Yeah.
because of how.
I mean, that's what it is.
exactly.
like,
that's
you
why these
aren't-
people are here.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
no
for
offense
sure.
to the Sunday League players, but
Mm.
if those people wanted to watch the Sunday League, you play every weekend,
Yeah.
they would go watch.
Yeah.
Whereas they want to see, they want to see Bateson come on for 20 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
it looks like-
One of the best moments was when the shorts fell down.
Yeah.
In that Wembley. Like that was just like Mark Bright going, "Oh, the shorts have come down!" Like that's amazing.
So good, yeah. I mean, even that picture of Bateson playing Barcelona, right? It's just so good. Like it just comes up every time.
Yeah.
Every time Barcelona play, he just
Bateson
should
has
have
played,
Bateson on.
Bateson has played in more professional stadiums than a lot of professional footballers.
Yeah, that's
Probably like Premier League football
Yeah.
as well.
Like he's played in so many amazing stadiums.
yeah. He's a legend in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really. But I think just that about charity matches, like that's why the SIDEMEN one is better. Is like you have the people that you're just going there to see play football because you just want to see how they're going to play.
Yeah.
Instead of like actually coming to see who's going to win.
Yeah.
I don't know what we'd like because we said we were going to do another one if our
You
mukbang.
hit your like.
Well, then
target.
COVID became
And then COVID, yeah.
like COVID obviously was a thing then already, but I think everyone thought it'll be
was gonna
done in a few
over
months.
a few months, yeah.
Whereas
Mm.
now it's a case of trying to
about
hire a
that.
stadium and have 20,000 people together.
Which is tough.
It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, even the
For a
big
while.
festivals are struggling, right? So like,
Yeah.
it's hard ask.
But if we were to do it, is there anything you would want, suggest, remove? What's like the ideal? Because like for the last SIDEMEN match, we had loads of American YouTubers.
Rascom, shout out.
And then the one before it, obviously, we made the teams like, well, it was a much fairer game, but also a much more boring game. I don't know. Did you find it more boring? You were on the winning team,
Yeah,
and you obviously got a good goal. Like,
I didn't, but I was playing like in the number 10 role, so I had total freedom to just like
True.
run at you. So I like obviously as a game that was so much fun for me. But I think it needs to be competitive. Like,
Yeah.
I think once Hugh was running out of the goal, it was like that's a shame
Yeah.
because that kind of makes it a bit pointless. So I think making it competitive, but you do want lots of goals.
yeah,
So I think not making it 2-0 if we can.
Like a
6-4.
Faking a halfway line goal helps.
shut up, shut up,
To be fair, you should fake it.
shut up.
That would be so funny.
Yeah.
You just shoot from the halfway line if it's on target. Count stands aside.
Yeah.
A
I
little
will say,
dive over the
as a
top.
viewer, because I was watching this on my honeymoon on a phone, and it was Joe and
Elliot,
Elliot. And while it was funny,
that was the first.
That was the second one.
that
that was
was
the second one. That was the second one.
Yeah,
So that was the one.
the
2-0,
2-0, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So I'm saying, like, as a viewer, like, I think that wasn't. I didn't enjoy the commentary on it, and they were funny, but it was more of like a fan cam. You know what I'm saying? The fan
Yeah.
commentary
Yeah,
rather than
yeah,
like
yeah.
serious. I think not only if the game, the game was a tight game, not many goals, blah 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 blah, but the commentary was just kind of like making fun of it rather than like actually making it entertaining. So watching it as well is kind of like, well, not only is there no goals, like the commentary is just kind of
Yeah.
cringe.
Maybe we have Brian and Lawrence as the main commentators, and then a fan zone of Joe and
Yeah,
Elliot
that'd be so good because then you got like, I mean, it's like it's
That's
not.
so peak though to say to Joe, like, do you want to be our fan zone?
yeah. You
do
can't
that.
start, but
No.
you can't even be our main commentator.
Yeah.
But I think you need that. Like it's not like Brian and Lawrence wouldn't, have funny moments either. Like, it's a charity match at the end of the day, but it'd be good to have like contrast.
I actually thought they were quite. I remember pissing myself watching it back, and because seeing the moment when Joel's shoulder came out,
Yeah.
and like you're like, come on, like
Bro,
literally.
the Donny was walking. And he was like, I've got a bag. And I'm like, right. He's literally
He's
looking
in
at
so
God.
much pain.
Like, he's like, he's there. And this guy's
Looking at
walking.
God.
And Joe and Elliot on the commentary are like, oh, he's walking.
Yeah.
I like,
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
I
it's-
thought that was funny.
It's not an issue. It was just they were very funny and it was very entertaining.
Yeah.
but not because of the game necessarily. It was more
It was
like
almost
they
like a-
were. It was
yeah.
like that was the event.
Yeah.
They could have done like a reaction to it and done that.
Yeah.
It would've
I'm
been-
not.
yeah.
It's not a criticism of them. It was more of like it just didn't really fit.
Yeah.
You know?
I think, yeah, maybe they. No, I don't know. No, you can't have really 4 commentators. I don't know.
16
Is Elliot
commentators.
even in the UK anymore? I don't even.
As well?
Is Elliot even in the UK anymore?
Yeah, he's-
Like,
Yeah,
where is
Joe's
back?
hanging out with him.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course they did the WWE thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they did that. Yeah.
But yeah, is there anything you
Anything
would...
I'd change? I
'cause
mean,
we are actually like looking at doing one just when we can.
yeah. I mean, after the Euros, I think it'll be a lot easier to judge where things are.
Yeah.
I think just like people want to see people that are popular, even if they're not good at football. Like they want
Yeah.
to see people like that being involved. So you've kind of just got to pick on who's most popular at the time. You know,
And there are enough players in the YouTube scene that are decent at football as well
Yeah.
to like balance it out.
Makes
you get
it
you get
mix.
both, right? That's
Well,
better,
that's what
better.
we thought. We thought we were doing that with the American one, but we actually sold like less tickets than the second year.
That's Well,
And I guess it's because it's an American audience.
I think maybe going to American audience was possibly like in terms of ticket sales, possibly a mistake instead of having more UK people.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, 'cause
obviously if you're no one from America is gonna, and I feel like the crossover's not that big
Yeah.
in terms of UK and US.
Yeah, for everyone who watches, Keemstar, Rice, watches you guys anyway, right?
I felt like we had because we didn't have that many Americans. And I felt
No.
like we got some really good ones. Like we had FaZe,
yeah, but it's football
Keemstar,
end of the day, innit, as
Rice,
well.
King Batch,
Like
they were big. Yeah, they were
like
big
big people.
YouTubers. Yeah,
we were really
You got to find someone who's a fan of those, but also a fan of like soccer enough, as an American.
yeah,
Yeah.
They
true.
might just not care.
But that could have helped us a lot online. We don't know.
Yeah, true actually.
Yeah,
It might be like obviously not to have too many, but if there's any professionals, who, I mean, it'd be difficult finding them and getting them to come and play. But
Yeah.
like if there's obviously like these days, you've got young professionals that watch YouTube, like
Yeah.
like Mason Mount and stuff like that.
I thought,
Yeah.
would they be
Like-
allowed?
I don't think so, but if we could, that'd be sick. Getting like people who actually play.
That would be. Although then they would destroy us.
Yeah, but you could say to them like, don't take the piss.
Or at
yeah.
least
you got to try and get
yeah.
someone tricky, and just be
Yeah.
like, look,
Yeah,
But then should you just bring in a freestyler? Because we set a rule inside.
I'm sure
them,
Jeremy's
like-
free.
We set a rule of no freestylers.
yeah.
Because
They're
They're athletes. Ultimately,
yeah.
And they're very good at football. So we were like, no freestylers. We don't want to turn it into their show. We keep it as like a team kind of
Yeah.
thing. And I
You
think
trying
it
to content wise, get like some professional players as like managers or
yeah.
ball boys.
We were trying to get Akifemra as a manager.
I was gonna
He
say
was busy.
actually something I did notice from last time. I think having a manager as well as like captains of the team, because I like playing the game.
subs.
I was trying to work out like who hasn't played enough game time. Like who's it
Yeah.
fair that I should bring
Yeah,
on.
while you're
Also,
playing.
like I've got Cal Freezy who's supposed to be playing right back and is playing right centre forward.
Yeah.
Like I need to keep him in defence.
Cal
We've actually
Freezy,
got,
man.
like a decent-
Yeah.
So I think having a manager's
We did think
Probably
about
good
that. And it was just a case of like, we need to find people who are willing to do that.
and not play.
Yeah.